Hey y'all, it's cold as a witch's titty out here tonight, but I came out because I wanted to have a smoke and talk to you with the night vision on. Y'all didn't know I smoke, did you? I do. I smoke occasionally. A pack lasts me months usually. I smoke. Look at that, isn't that cool? This is a cigarette case that I bought at a yard sale a couple of weeks ago. The money was going to a couple. The elderly woman, had to put her husband in the Veterans Hospital here, which costs buttloads of money. And she needed money, and she was selling almost everything out of their house. It was mostly like not cool old lady stuff, but kind of yucky old lady stuff. But this was in there, and I thought, I bet he was a trucker. And I've always wanted a cigarette case, so... And my DeJarms fit right in there. I smoke DeJarm Blacks. They're the best clove cigarette known to mankind. Like I said, I smoke very rarely, but once in a while I just decide I want one. I usually smoke with a cigarette holder too. A boccino, as the Italians say. But I forgot to bring it out with me. A friend of mine, an Italian friend, this is a little bit X-rated. If you're under the age of 16, don't listen to me. An Italian friend of mine told me, I was smoking one day with my little vintage cigarette holder, and he said, "Darling, my little peach face," he called me peach face, and it's not because my face is fuzzy, although sometimes it is a little, but we're not going to talk about that. He said, "My little peach face, do you know what they call that in Italy?" I said, "No, what do they call it in Italy?" My damn cheap lighter. It's my Betty Page lighter, and I love it, but it doesn't light very easily. I said, "What do they call it in Italy?" He says, "That's a boccino in Italy." And he says, "But it is also slang for blowjob." So he says, "So, my darling, if you should ever be in Italy and be on a public train and a strange man asks you for a cigarette holder, tell him no." I thought it was kind of funny. I'm tripping over potted plants. You missed it. Look at it. Got it going. Oh, I was going to talk to you tonight about names. Of course, my name, as many of you know, is Alyssa. My middle name is Renee. I'm not even going to tell you my last name. I still have my married name because I was just too depressed to even want to try to go and redo everything with my old last name. I think sometimes about going back to it. It's a good, sturdy Scottish name, and it's, I guess, kind of cool in its own way. But, so Alyssa Renee, something or another. And I have a nice name. I like it. I didn't used to like it when I was a kid because nobody seemed to be able to spell it or pronounce it, and I even got teased a little about it, but it's nice to be different. I'm glad I'm not named something common and ordinary by one name. If you hear the noises, the cats are out here. They love it when I come outside. They're like, "Mommy's in our house now." And they run around and act all crazy. So that's what they're doing. But I've known some people in my life with some really strange names. And I mean, I love that. I love that people have unusual names because it makes them so memorable. It makes them memorable. And my sister, actually, when she was living in Fayetteville, she was friends with a couple that ran a little antique shop next to her apartment, Vicky and Sophia. And they had a friend who lives in New York City and I believe works for Marvel Comics. Am I getting that right? I think for Marvel Comics. And her name is Go, G-O. That's what everybody calls her, but her full name is "Go ye unto the world and preach the gospel to all the lands," or however that verse goes. That's her name. Her parents frickin' named her that. Can you imagine? But people call her Go. I mean, that's awesome. How many people do you know named Go? Also, when I was growing up in Texas, it was just kind of common knowledge about the Hogg family. That's H-O-G-G. The Hoggs. Mr. Hogg was actually governor of the state there for a while. long time ago. But he had 2 sons, hi Callie, and 1 daughter. And they named their daughter Ima, Ima. Ima Hogg. That was the woman's name. She went through life with that name. Despite it, though, she was a wonderful person. She was one of Texas's most well-known and famous philanthropists. The family ended up moving away from the capital and moving to Houston, where she started mental health clinics, which my mom joked the other day was, set up for people whose parents named them things like I'm a hog. Rumor went around for years and is still going around that she had a sister named Ura. But I looked that up on the internet the other day, and it's nothing but a Texas myth. I grew up going to churches, many, many churches, because my dad would have falling outs with the pastors or whomever at the church, and we'd have to move on. We never stayed long enough for me to really make friends. It was hard enough for me to make friends as it was. But I went to church in many, many strange places, which I will tell you about some other time. This particular one, there was a man, I may be getting his first name wrong, but who cares? His name was John Weggy. W-E-G-G-Y, Weggy. We had a lovely woman who went to that church and ended up meeting and marrying John Weggy. Her first name was Peggy. She became Peggy Weggy. Doesn't get any better than that. We have a few unusual names in my family. I have a great-great-grandmother named Nancy America Rose. Isn't that pretty? That's who my mother was named after. She's Nancy. She didn't get the America or the Rose, but she got the Nancy. My only living grandparent, my grandpa that lives here in Arkansas, he has a brother, his only remaining living brother, and I won't say his last name because I don't want to out my grandfather, but his brother's first and middle name are Winston Churchill. Now what's really funny is great-grandmother, when asked about it, she said, I didn't name him after Winston Churchill. I named him after Winston Churchill. Supposedly there was a baseball player who was famous at the time named Winston Churchill. So don't be mistaken, she didn't name him after Winston Churchill. She named him after Winston Churchill. I'm sure in her mind she saw pictures of the two. My sister went to school with someone named Crystal Cream, elementary school. I used to look at that poor girl and think there is no way that she is going to escape either being a hooker or a stripper. It is predestined by her very name. So I want to hear from you. What are some of your favorite names that you've heard given to people? Tell me if they're in your family, or if you knew them at school, or if you just heard about them. I find it fascinating. Asking people about, do you hear that? That's coyotes. They are too close. Don't come eat my cats. Damn coyotes. Ooh. Freaks me out. Bishop Kelt is right, and I agree with him. I've always thought that the smoke from a Dajarum Black is the thickest, most luscious, sexy, beautiful smoke you're ever gonna see. Smells good too. I have so much stuff I've put on tape to make videos with. Stuff I've even transferred over to my computer. But I can't seem to get motivated. I can't seem to catch up with my email. I love that you people write to me, send me messages and stuff all the time. Makes me feel all popular. When I was a little kid, I used to dream that I'd be a movie star someday, and that my favorite part of being a movie star would be all the fan mail, and that I would never hire someone else to answer my fan mail. Every day I'd get like a huge sack of mail. There'd be cards and pretty envelopes and people telling me all their secrets and stuff. I thought that would be just the best thing in the world. And now I have this itty tiny bit of like little 15 minutes of semi-tiny fame. And I'm finding it's not so easy to keep up with everybody. But it is tremendously fun. Hi, Fidget. Come here. It is tremendously fun to get all the mail. Oh, I was going to show them to you. Damn cat. God, I thought it was a cow. It's just Mambo. Mambo, come here. Where are you? Come here. Come here. Oh, there you are. Come here, darling. Murr, murr. I caught him. I caught me a wildcat. Ow. Okay, my hands are completely frozen. I'm going inside. These crazy cats can stay out here and run up trees all night for all I care. Bye, guys.